say anything about any of that. All
Okay,
right.
live.
We are live. This is so exciting. We are on day 6 of the Sage Circle Alliance membership drive for charter members, inviting anyone interested, any business people, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and change makers who are interested in making a difference in the world for human health, animal compassion, and the planet to come along with us for this. I'm just going to call it like incredible adventure we're on to make a difference and shift the paradigm from what we've been doing, which has worked to a point, but now we are at another branch in the journey. It's time to move forward, and that's what we're here to do at the Sage Circle Alliance. My name is Meryl Fury. I am one of the co-founders, along with my whole food, plant-based best buddy, Paul Chatlin. I am president and CEO of Plant-Based Nutrition Movement. And today we have a small handful of guests. One of our, all of these people on today are founding members. I will introduce the two who are here right now. One is Janet Pearson. She is one of our board members also at Plant-Based Nutrition Movement, and she is on the journey with us with Sage Circle Alliance to make a difference in the planet. And the other is Dr. Niki Davis. I'm going to let you say a little bit about yourself, Niki, because you have a whole lot you could say. One thing I will say about her, this is probably the oldest joke in the world about Niki Davis, is like she's a recovering rocket scientist, and she has moved into plant-based and lifestyle medicine and telehealth specifically. So we'll let her introduce herself and give a little bit more of her background in just a minute. Let me start by saying, and I'm looking off over here at my notes, so please forgive me for not looking directly into the camera, but I want to tell you the mission for the Sage Circle Alliance is to accelerate the global shift toward a plant-based lifestyle by unifying and amplifying the voice of the plant-based movement. And everybody that you'll be meeting for this entire month on this set of live presentations, that's what we do. That's all we're about. We are passionate about that. We want to see improvement in human health. We want to see increases in animal compassion, and we want to see the planet a healthier place to live. We support plant-based entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and change makers in creating a healthier, more sustainable world for everybody living on this planet. So here's the setup for what we're talking about today. In our experience doing this kind of work, and I'm sure this is true for just about every whole food, plant-based, plant-powered person thus far that I've met, we're here to make a difference. And what we see is the who, what, when, where, and why of how we do that has not changed in literally 5,000 years. If you go back as far as Ayurvedic medicine, it's all the same. The who that's doing it are the people that are passionate about it, the change makers and the thought leaders and the healers in the world, right? The when is always right now and going forward. The where is everywhere we see people in need of that information. The why is to help for health, compassion, and the planet. It's the how that stumps us. It's the how. How do we get people to listen to the message? How do we get people to accept the message, and how to move it forward? How do we make sure that the next 7 generations, I'll go with that, are healthier and doing better? How do we make sure that the planet is still able to sustain life? How at least are we not causing more harm than good? And how do we stay aligned with our mission? So that's what we're talking about today. Today we are speaking with Dr. Niki Davis, and I would like you to introduce yourself, please.
Sure. Well, I have to say I'm going to steal what you used, which was a recovering rocket scientist. I mean, that is perfect. Because honestly, I got out of this, it wasn't of mine, and I got into plant-based
Uh-oh,
Mine. Oh, are
we're
we
having,
freezing?
we're freezing a little. And I want to
Okay.
see, let me see if I can do this a little bit differently too.
Okay, let me see if it might be on my end. Just give me one moment.
Okay. Janet, in your view, are all three of us on the camera?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
we don't have Niki Davis.
Okay. Yes, correct. Right. Okay, good. Well, while we're waiting for her, Janet, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a volunteer member of the Sage Circle Alliance because I'm following Meryl's lead. She invited me to participate in the beginning founding, time of the organization. And I've really enjoyed my time the last 6, 7 months being involved with so many thought provokers and plant-based industry leaders. And it's just exciting to be in the plant-based sector this time because more and more people are talking about plant-based nutrition, and they're talking and telling me that their doctors would be happy if they eat plant-based, and their wives are starting to cook plant-based, and the kids are liking broccoli and growing plants in their garden. So it's really exciting. I had the opportunity to to volunteer a few days ago in Wisconsin at a Cub Scout jamboree, and it was so exciting to see the positive input that we received at the event. And they all loved the food that we had, and the way to their stomachs and their hearts is through the food, correct?
Yes, that's it all the time. That's it all the time. Thanks so much, Janet. Let's see if Niki is back with us. We can't hear you. Oh, because I haven't let you in. 1 minute. Let's add you to the stage.
Hello.
There you go.
All right. We're just going to try a different device and hopefully that works.
Okay. Yep, we can hear you and see you.
Okay, good. So I think you wanted me to introduce
Yes,
myself.
please. Yes.
So I'm a recovering rocket scientist. Been there, done that, not doing it anymore. So I've had my time. But yeah, so I came into the lifestyle medicine world a little differently than I think some other providers or other physicians and physician assistants and nurse practitioners and all other sorts of people who help people in their health journeys. I knew that this was what I wanted to do because I left my career in engineering and decided to go and pursue medical school so that I could become a plant-based doctor, the kind of doctor that I wish that I had known about, or had the opportunity to see when I was going through making these changes in my life. So at the time, there really weren't very many. Now, of course, we know there are a lot of plant-based doctors out there that have been around a long time, like, Dr. McDougall and Dr. Barnard and even Dr. Greger, many that that I could name here. But, this movement is starting to grow if we're just speaking about the health, human health movement of it. So at the time it was, I definitely was looking up to some of these people that had been in that realm, but it was still pretty unknown. And lifestyle medicine wasn't even something that I was really aware of when I initially started medical school. And it wasn't until I started really learning about lifestyle medicine, or I guess plant-based nutrition more and more, that I found lifestyle medicine. And they had their first board certifications going on as I was finishing up with my residency program. So I was able to get to be a part of that. But yeah, so it's been a bit of a journey for me where I, started removing animal products from my diet when I was a teenager because I felt like it wasn't healthy for me to be eating animal foods, and felt better, was happier, and then started learning about how animals are treated, how it affects our planet. And then that just got me to remove all the animal products eventually. And then, of course, I learned about the human health part and how not just eating a junky vegan food diet was going to be beneficial to me. It was, of course, better for the animals and the planet, but not necessarily my own health. So as I transitioned more to whole food, plant-based vegan, that's when I really saw the benefits for myself. And then I started, chanting this to my friends and family, and they started seeing changes and benefits. And that really led me to, okay, if I really want to help move this forward, how am I best going to be able to do that? And we all have our special thing that we do that helps get this movement going. And for me, I was always really passionate about health and nutrition. And so that's where I thought, if I go back and do medical school, that I can become a doctor that helps people through this process and this transition. And now I have the knowledge of conventional medicine and lifestyle medicine. And I think that that can also help me to be able to teach people and talk to people and do public speaking events and really use that as well to help with the movement.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for sharing all of that. A little introduction on how you found your plant-based beginnings. It's exciting always to hear how we first initially, because not many of us our age are, we're born into a plant-based family. Hopefully, the next generation will be. And could you tell us, maybe people aren't so familiar with telehealth, and how does that compare with traditional healthcare, and a little more about what you do and how people could find you?
Sure. So I'm board certified in family medicine. That's what I did my residency in, but I'm also board certified in lifestyle medicine. And so I do lifestyle medicine over telehealth. And I found a company that I work with called love.life. Love.life/telehealth is their website. And there are several doctors that now work with them. I think there are 11, maybe 12 of us now. And we, because we have so many doctors working with them, we can cover all 50 states, DC, and internationally. So this allows people to have access to a lifestyle medicine doctor no matter where you live. So that's a big part of why it's over telehealth, so that we have, people have that access no matter where you live, as long as you've got an internet connection, or honestly, even a phone, you can visit with us. So telehealth, if you just compare that to seeing a doctor in person, they've done multiple studies where they show that the quality of care, as long as you're not trying to treat someone for an acute illness that is not appropriate for telehealth, mostly what we work with is chronic lifestyle related conditions. So high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity. So as long as you're working with those kinds of chronic lifestyle related diseases, the quality of care is the same. So you don't need to go see someone in person to get the same quality of care, and you're getting to see someone who's supportive of a plant-based diet, is supportive of you getting off meds if possible. So it's really wonderful to be a part of that, because we get a lot of people who are very motivated. They really want to make these lifestyle changes, but they just need the help to get going, and the physician to kind of oversee that as well, because a lot of people come to me and they're on multiple medications, and they talk about, well, I thought about stopping this myself, and maybe I would change to this and decrease that down. Hold on. Let's do this safely. Let's make sure that we're decreasing these medications safely. So that's a lot of what we do, is help people through the process, and then of course helping with the medication management is huge.
Yeah.
Well, that's very exciting and impressive that with your group you've collaborated together, and you've opened the opportunity for everyone pretty much worldwide through the internet to connect and work with a qualified physician to transition off. Are most of the people that come to you looking to transition to a plant-based diet and de-prescribe their current meds?
I would say that's a good part of the people who come to me, but a lot of people will come to me who are already plant-based, and they either just want a physician who's supportive of their current lifestyle, and they want somebody who can order their yearly labs and help out with the medications. We still ask people to have a primary doctor that they can go see in person, because there are going to be occasions in which you need to see someone in person. But we can also help out with just preventive care and just making sure that you're doing all the things you need to be doing to stay healthy and to continue to have a good long life. So it's a lot of different reasons that people come to us, whether you're just brand new to transitioning to a plant-based diet, you've been doing it for years and years, and maybe you're still having issues with something. I'll have people that say, hey, I've been plant-based for 10 years. My cholesterol is starting to creep up. What do I need to do? So we can talk through those things. So yeah, lots and lots of different reasons why people come and see us.
So
Well,
let's switch to a little bit about working collaboratively, because we're talking about Sage Circle Alliance. We're looking at that whole platform for whole food, plant-based, healthy, vegan, dare I say, professionals to collaborate, right? So in the world of telehealth, what are some of the challenges that you've seen bringing that to people's awareness?
Yeah, so I think, one of the challenges is I think people worrying that telehealth is not as good a care as seeing someone in person. So, they're still trying to find someone locally that they can visit in person. And that's just because that's what most of us have known.
Right.
That's just what most of us do. Now, however, the COVID pandemic really kind of put telehealth out there, and it kind of forced people to try it. And I think the more people that tried it during that time saw, oh, okay, this is possible. And actually, it's really nice. I can go to work and take a quick break and go sit in my car and visit with my provider in my car. I don't have to drive somewhere. I don't have to take time off work. Or I can just be in the comfort of my home. I'm not waiting in the waiting room for a long time. I'm not waiting in the office for a long time. So I think that people are starting to see that benefit, but that's still, I think, something that we need to overcome. It's just that people getting comfortable with that type of care versus in person.
Yeah. I also wondered too about, so I'm a nurse, right? And when I was working in clinics, I worked in public health for close to 30 years. We didn't have to advertise, right? That wasn't a thing. I didn't have to make sure people knew that my clinic was there. People somehow just knew. Maybe there was an announcement, a press release, maybe the health system that we worked for. I was a lot under the county health department. Everybody knew. I didn't have to worry about the marketing part at all. So in telehealth, do you find it's really important to have, and a little bit of a leading question, but that it's important to work with other people in the space who can bring eyes to your practice, that can make sure that the world knows you're out there?
Absolutely, because you would think that people would know about us. I mean, I think that we have kind of assumed that if you're in the plant-based world, you just know about us, but we found that that's not the case.
Right.
So we really do need the help of others to, tell people about us. And because we have, we have lots and lots of patients that we see, and we have them always fill out forms. How was your visit? And we always get rave reviews of just that you guys are amazing. We want this, we wish that this was available sooner. So people really love it. But it's getting those people who have a good experience to then share it with other people. And then it's just other people in the plant-based world helping with, getting more eyes on us.
Yeah.
And this is a big part of why the Sage Circle Alliance exists, right? So that we can all help each other move forward in this movement and get more people to know who we are. Because all of the aspects of moving this forward are important, right? It's not just the health aspect, which I'm part of, but it's all the other things out there too. It's, all of the things that are involved with moving this forward. So I also want to be able to help other people move their businesses forward. And that's why I really love being a part of this alliance, because it allows me to be seen by more people, but also that I can help others.
Right. Totally. It's kind of like when we're working in the medical setting, right? There's so many people on that team that get patients from walking in the door through the registration process into the office in the back, right? They get them checked in, they get the height, the weight, the blood pressure, the everything else, ask them about what they're eating, of course. And then, the provider comes in, and so many people, right? There's x-ray, and there's respiratory, and there's dietary, and there's all that. It depends, right? It's not something that we can really do alone. Any one of those professions cannot function without the others, not really well anyway, not without burning out or feeling that you're not hitting all the stopping points. So yeah, it's important to have other people around us supporting our mission, supporting our vision, and our like why for being here. Otherwise the how doesn't happen so well.
Right. Yeah. And we don't want vegan businesses and plant-based businesses to go under because they don't have that support. We need them to survive and thrive.
Exactly. Janet, do you have any questions? I don't want to dominate the time.
Well, I just our nonprofit works with children a lot, and I know, Niki, from seeing you on Chef AJ doing your cooking demos, that your son is a help in the kitchen. I know that's a way to get kids involved. Do you want to share a little bit, since you're a family practitioner, do you work mostly with adults, or do you work with what age children do you start with, or can our parents that are watching this, work with you, or another pediatrician on your staff?
Yeah, so really good question. So as a family doctor, I can see all ages. But remember, I'm working almost kind of like a specialist. So I'm not a pediatrician. I'm not working as a family doctor. So I have seen children and teens in my practice, but it's for lifestyle related reasons, right? So for instance, I'll see young kids where they're transitioning to a plant-based diet. Their whole family is transitioning, and the parent might be wondering, okay, are there any supplements that I need to start? Do we need to check any lab work to make sure that they're getting what they need? So having those kinds of conversations about lifestyle. And then I'll also have teenagers that are making the transition. They're maybe their parents aren't supportive, but the parents are good enough parents that they say, okay, well, at least let's do this safely. Let's have you talk to a doctor and make sure that you're eating what you need to be if you're going to make this change and eat more plants. I'll even get people, teenagers with mental health problems that want to make the change to see if that can help instead of the medications that they've tried that maybe aren't helping or they're still struggling. So there are a lot of reasons that I end up seeing children and teens. So it's definitely a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's encouraging, because so many parents, they're questioning, because they've been told we need the calcium, we need our protein, we need our certain animal sources, and they are not aware that we can get everything and more from our plant-based nutrition. So it's great that you're out there supporting that cause and that message. Do you
Yeah.
have anything else to add on how you are basically promoting your business, and how others can help you with that?
Yeah. So, a big part of my business is the one-on-one appointments that I have for people with, for lifestyle medicine. And like I mentioned, it is not only for those people who are looking to make the transition to plant-based or just improve their lifestyle. So remember, lifestyle medicine isn't just about a plant-based diet, even though that's a big part of it. It's also physical activity, stress management, having meaningful relationships, getting good sleep. So there are lots of components to that. And some people will come to me saying, hey, I'm having a hard time sleeping, right? And that ends up being their focus for the day. So it's not always just about plant-based, it's all the pillars of lifestyle medicine. But the other thing that I'm trying to start working on is having in-person retreats for
Mm.
people who are either already plant-based or wanting to go plant-based. It's a way to bring people together in person, which I love. Being somebody who does mostly over Zoom and telehealth, I crave that in-person connection. And I know a lot of people out there are socially isolated. And that's one of the pillars of lifestyle medicine, right? Is having those deep, meaningful relationships and not feeling socially isolated. So it's an important part of your health. So I really want to bring up start these retreats to not only bring people in person and make those connections, but also helping people, just learning how to be successful with eating plant-based, cooking together, eating food together, adventuring together, just having fun together. So I had my first one that I co-hosted in Belize in March of this year, and it was successful. It was a wonderful experience for me. So now I'm looking at expanding that more, and I'm hoping to do another retreat in southern Utah, because I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is northern Utah. But traveling down to southern Utah where the Red Rocks are, Zion National Park, and really just enjoying that area, but also just, getting to cook and eat healthy together, and maybe even improve some health during the retreat, right? Doing labs before and after and seeing those changes. So that's really my goal for the future, is to do more of that and bring people together and have those experiences.
That's
And I'm
great.
assuming that people would find out about that on your website.
Yeah, so my website, it's pretty easy, just drnikidavis.com. So it's drnikidavis.com. And there's a link for retreats. So if you just click on there, I don't have the dates for the Southern Utah retreat yet, but if you're interested, there's a form you can fill out, so you'll be one of the first people notified when it is available. But it'll probably be small, because this will be my first one that I'm doing by myself. So keeping it kind of intimate and small. So if you are interested, make sure you fill out that form so that you'll be notified.
Right. So one of the great things about our website for the Safe Circle Alliance, which I think is floating across the bottom of the screen right now, is that we have an events section, and we can certainly post that on our calendar and make sure more eyes get on it, as well as anybody who is a member of the Alliance, I'm sure would be happy to share that message. Now, the bad part might be you might get too many people asking. If you want to keep it intimate, it might overwhelm you. We don't want to do that. But that's not such a bad problem to have, right? You can always,
not a problem.
right?
No.
You can always create a waiting list or get ready to do the next one.
Well,
So,
and yes, and ultimately, I would like to do them very often. It would be nice if I could have something like that, a 5 or 6 day retreat every month.
oh my goodness, wouldn't that be great? Especially
Yeah.
if you're going places like Southern Utah or Belize or Costa Rica or someplace
Yeah,
really, really amazing.
exactly. That's
Right.
the idea.
Right. Totally. Totally. Well, I think our next guest is here actually. My screen is a little bit screwy. I think Anne is down in the corner here. So I'm going to click on her box and see if that lets her in. Does it? It may not. I don't know. I don't know how to see her. All right. Well, I may have to do some kind of camera magic here to get her into the picture.
While you're doing that, we could continue. Would you like us to continue our discussion?
Yeah, I would like to know, and Janet, you can shepherd this along while I'm futzing with the controls. If you have any strategies or thoughts about how to get other healthcare providers on board with this message, to get them engaged in lifestyle medicine in general, or plant-based eating patterns in particular, that would be amazing to figure out how we can all work together to support that effort. In the meantime, I'm going on mute and I'm going to try and figure this out.
Great. Well, and I was going to say, I think that there is beginning to be more and more interest in lifestyle medicine. In fact, one of the big health insurance companies, medical providers near me, opened up a lifestyle medicine center. And I'm curious to know, what are they teaching there? What are they promoting there? But I am starting to see that kind of used more and more conferences that are being held that involve lifestyle medicine. A lot of providers get burned out really easily with the current healthcare system and seeing patients every 15 minutes all day long, and just being overworked, and adding yet another medication to their patients list of medications and not really seeing people get better. So for me, lifestyle medicine is a really good way to keep providers happy and engaged and excited about helping people get well, instead of just managing conditions that never get better and get worse over time. So I think that interest is there, and my personal opinion is that we just need to reach out to those medical companies, medical offices, and letting them know that we're here. So because if you think about, say a family medicine doctor who is seeing a patient, the patient says, hey, I really want to improve my cholesterol. I really want to get off this blood pressure medication. I want to lose 20 pounds. What do you suggest I do? And the doctor says, well, you want to eat better, you want to move more. But they don't have the time to really go through what all is entailed in making those changes. So then to have someone that they can refer to, like us, lifestyle medicine providers, knowing that we exist and being able to refer to us and send those patients our way so that we can help them through that process. And then they're still having that relationship with their primary doctor, right? We're just kind of like a specialist that are helping them through that transition so that when they go back, now they've been successful, they've made these changes, they no longer need those extra medications, and then everyone does better. The insurance company saves money, their primary doctor is happy because their patient is getting better, and then we end up doing great because then we're also getting to see those changes in those patients, and it helps us feel great with what we're doing.
Sounds like, we, the public and the patients, will bring the lifestyle medicine back and the plant-based and the all six pillars back to their physicians and start educating the physicians.
Yeah.
So that's, it's kind of full circle, and it's just getting more information out there and marketing that this is healthy. It's not just a fluke type of bad diet. It's the future.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much, Dr. Niki Davis from Utah, for sharing your time with us today. We really appreciate hearing about your story and sharing your thoughts on how we can expand and collaborate with our Sage Circle Alliance. And thanks so much for being a founding member of our organization. And we look forward to getting to know you more and going on those fabulous retreats in southern Utah. That sounds so exciting.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Janet. Thank you, Meryl. Appreciate you having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. And we were able to work out the tech issues. Thank goodness. We have our next guest now, Ann Schroeder. Now, okay, just in case you're just joining us, we are doing our membership drive. Okay, so in all the years that I have watched public television and listened to public radio, I could never quite understand why they were so lit up about membership drives. Like, really? But I totally get it now. It's exciting to be in a space of growth and purpose, to encourage other people to take on healthy behaviors and support their business and work to collaborate together. It's really exciting. So welcome, Ann. We are so grateful that you're here. Let me go back up to my notes just so we can reiterate. The mission of the Sage Circle Alliance is to accelerate the global shift toward a plant-based lifestyle by unifying and amplifying the voice of the plant-based movement. We are speaking this month just about every day with founding members of the Sage Circle Alliance. And this is that's why Ann is here, at least partly. So Ann, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself? I don't want to miss any of the important juicy parts in introducing you.
Well, hello everybody, and thank you. I'm glad to be here. This is so fun. I'm already having a good time. Man, hearing Niki Davis, man, I want to go on that retreat.
No kidding.
I'm not far from her.
Right? Actually, I was thinking if we all
It's not hard.
On our website and all of the members sign up, she'd be full for a few retreats for a long time.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I'm already gonna offer my services, Niki. I don't know if you're listening, but man, yeah, I will just go down and support your efforts because I am totally in alignment with all of that. So, So a little bit about me. So I'm Ann Schrader, and doesn't bother me how you pronounce my last name. My husband says he doesn't care too much either, but it is Schrader for whatever it's worth.
Okay.
I'm in Idaho, and I'm a Midwestern person, though. I grew up in Illinois, Wisconsin, and then moved to Phoenix for a while. So I'm very familiar with Southern Utah and that beautiful Northern Arizona area. So I lived there for about 26 years. But in that whole journey, I went from acute care nursing to the whole floor nursing, cardiovascular, orthopedics, all that stuff. And then I had like so little time to educate that patient before they discharged, and then we call them repeat offenders, especially with heart attacks and anginas, or they'd come in with hypertension issues or whatever. And they were like, oh, you were just here not too long ago. Like, I remember you from last year or, 6 months ago or whatever. So then I went into cardiac rehab to like educate, right? And then went into diabetic education because most people with diabetes have cardiovascular disease as their cause of death. And so then I'm still a diabetic educator. And then as I was prompting myself to like re-engage in like into a new work system at a clinic. So now I've got an office, physicians referring their patients to me, and I'm teaching them about how to manage diabetes, right? But it was Paul Chatlin that just did it for me. His story with cardiovascular disease. I somehow caught wind of him. I learned about insulin resistance, mastering diabetes. I must have been on something, and I saw Paul Chatlin's thing, and I'm like, who is this guy? How can that be? So I learned he lived right across the lake, Lake Michigan. So I said, Paul, I'm just going to fly on over and meet you. And so I did. My husband and I just went over and had no idea what a veg fest was. I had no clue. I'm in southern Wisconsin eating cheese, and dairy farmers are my patients. I'm like, what? But you know what? His story was so intriguing, and he spent so much quality time with me. And so I thought, I got to go meet this guy. We went over there. Dr. Furman was also introduced to me because he happened to be speaking, and some other, Dr. Khan. It's just like, wow, this is really a thing. How have I missed this? And it was like, this little angst was like, what? This can't be real. This really can't be real, right? Because I would have known all this. Because that's who I help, people to stop their problems, their health problems. So, man, that was 2016. And so I was just, what am I getting myself into? And I told my husband, hopefully when you'll meet him, he's a hoot. But I said, dear, I'm learning stuff that is going to change how I'm now helping patients, helping people, helping my neighbor, and this is going to rock my world because, darn it, I love cheese.
Well, as a good Wisconsin person, you better love cheese.
Yeah. So then, especially since I went to a conference, I'm like, okay, because I'm a conference girl. I like to learn. I'm a constant learner. I'm open-minded. Mother taught me well. Receive information, discern what you're going to do with it, toss some of it out if it's not any good, and kind of grab onto the stuff that's good, And so that's what I did. And I went to a Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine conference, Washington, D.C. My husband hadn't gone there before. So I'm like, he's going to go tour the place while I'm at these conferences. And then we met up at the Saturday night thing. And that's where I learned about this book called The Cheese Trap. Oh my, you kidding me? Somebody from Wisconsin is going to like even open that book? You guys, honestly, I had emotions in me that were very disturbing. And it was hard to even approach the table. And I thought, doggone it, what if? What if this is it? You know, I don't know. Let's just learn about it. So yeah, I went over and got the book. And kind of took it home, put it in my purse. And, darn it, I'm going to have to read it. And so then I'm like, man, all right, just do it. And so I just couldn't put it down. Are you kidding me? You're kidding me. You're kidding me. Who is this guy, Neil Barnard, anyway?
Right.
You know? And so I was just, I just started meeting Mastering Diabetes, Cyrus Kambata, Robbie Barbero. I just, you know, I saw AJ up there. Miyoko was doing a thingy. And, you know, I learned about blue zones there. And I'm like, this, and there are thousands of people, which is so funny because I didn't think I knew anybody there, right? Paul wasn't there, but that's okay. And so I did, though, before I left, I thought this information, I had a few months from when I started learning to like this conference, and I'm just going to throw it out to my colleagues and you know what, it's let them decide if they want to grab onto this conference or not. It's kind of lifestyle medicine thing, and it might be a nice little adjunct to whatever they're doing, and what the heck. And so I did. Nobody responded, nothing. And I'm like, okay, whatever. At this conference, the table right next to me, two people came up and said, "You're Anne. Anne, hey, this is so-and-so." I'm like, what are you doing here? They came because of me.
Nice.
I had two other physicians that came just because of that. I had no idea they were going to come. I didn't really know them that well. But I thought, doggone it, if people are going to want to share this information, this is like glorious information. And I'm like, what a gift. And I'm so like, okay, what am I going to do with that? So anyway, I just kept learning. I was just like fixated. I became a nerd about it. I still am. And I'm totally enjoying it. Now I'm enjoying it.
Well, what we can see for sure is you are passionate about the subject, right? You are.
Yes. I'm
yes,
sorry.
You can see it would take nothing. Just put a quarter in her and let her go.
And we all have a lot in common with that cheese and pizza struggle, because I'm from Illinois. Meryl's from southern Wisconsin, Pleasant Prairie. So we, you know, we're the oddball at the table, ordering pizza without cheese. I can remember the last bite of cheese, because Dr. Neil Barnard's book came out in about 2016-17, when I went to a veg fest similar to your story, and thought, wow, at my age, where have I been all my life? Now, you were in the medical field. Yeah. How many years were you in the medical field? And this was your first exposure to plant-based nutrition?
Well, gosh, I think we're on, I don't know, 30 years, probably, something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I thought, this can't be, because we were told that our resources only had to be the government funded resources. Right. Those were the only trusted resources. So we weren't supposed to like look out and like get off track, right? This is chronic disease. This is going to be what it is the rest of your life. You're going to have complications. But when I heard this Paul's story, and then specific ones to diabetes as well, I thought, who am I to say no to somebody who can make their own choice? That's right. I'm just going to give the information out. Hey, this is what I know to be what my history has been, complication, you know, acute care, chronic care. You know, I even did home health. Make sure you go to your patient, you know, doctor's office, make sure you take your medicine. I'm sure that's going to help you. Nothing was working. And I'm like, doggone it. This new stuff, to me, it was new, is like what I grew up with. You know, I have a vintage home, happened to be that because of COVID, you buy what you get. And I'm like, I'm going to make do with this. I am going to love this and go back to my mind about the old ways which are the tried and true ways for centuries.
Right. You know,
Like,
let me interrupt you a second, just a second. You're talking about, and this is how we open this this segment. There's, for healthcare professionals, very little really has changed. What happened is we got off track, right? So if we look back at the history of medicine and nursing and all the healthcare fields, directions, angles, the ones that are legitimately about helping people and keeping us at our peak for as long as possible, that stuff hasn't changed literally in 5,000 years, probably longer. Documented in Ayurveda for 5,000 years, right? There's food is your food is important. Your environment is critical. Maybe a connection to spirituality would be valuable, depending upon what kind of spirituality you like to indulge in. Your relationships are key. All these things are, and all these things are the same. What's changed is our external environment, right? We have a constant pressure through marketing and through certain avenues where we are taught to get our information, or maybe even in our education, things like that, you know, and then the engineering of foods so that they are hyper palatable and we want to eat them. We're addicted to them. We have this constant pressure that keeps us just on the edge of sick all the time until we're no longer on the edge and we fall over, right? And then we're really ill. One of the things I think we struggle with, this is what I was saying earlier, it's not who does the work. No, people who are passionate about healthcare do the work. That we're in it for that, right? It's not when, because it's always, it's now, it's right now, and now, and now, and now, right? It's always, it's when we do it is always. Where we do it is everywhere, because, oh my gosh, people need help everywhere all the time. And why we do it is because we are just obsessed. But the problem is how? How do we get the message across? How do we get people to listen? How do we get people to take up the message? And there's a part, which is not often spoken about out loud. How do we get compensated for it? How do we keep our businesses afloat? How do we make sure we keep the lights on, right? So the Sage Circle Alliance, I'm going to bring it back to that, is about those things. It's about how do we get the message across? How do we keep our businesses afloat? And how do we stay aligned with our passion and what's important for those of us who are healthcare providers? And it's also other people in the alliance. There are digital marketers. There are real estate agents. There are people who own eco villages in Ecuador. There are people who are authors. There are podcasters. There are public speakers. There are people who just like to sit and noodle on problems and come up with answers. So here's the big question then. In the world of being a nursing coach, and that's what you go by these days, right?
Nurse
And
coach, yeah.
nurse
Yes.
coach. What type of collaboration, if you could have any collaboration in the world, if you could wave your magic wand and have a collaboration that would make a difference, what type of collaboration would you go for to deliver the how of your message?
Oh.
Ooh.
Yes.
Tough question.
I just keep saying yes. It is so nurse coaching is a certificate. You have to get certified to do this. You have to go through, like, I had to get certified to be a diabetic educator. It's a big test. Well, this is a big test too. And you have to meet certain criteria. So not everybody can do this type. But it's nice that I collaborate, I guess. To answer your question, how do I collaborate? I would.
Or with whom? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like to address the why for people. Like, what is your why? You know my why now is because I've learned a better way, and the better way is better, and it's legit, and there's evidence, and it's like, that's the way to go. And wouldn't it be more fun to actually heal people, have their body kind of heal people to the best of their ability. So and I love working with people with diabetes. So I get all of that medical. So I bring to this like that past management system, the symptom management system, and then work with all the decision behavior modification changes that people are struggling with to just decide to commit to go in that direction, and they're going to need support. So I offer, so bring to me people that want to, they're willing, and even if they're like 60% there, then they just need like, okay, what does that really mean to me? I customize it and let them be in control. So don't give them all the answers unless if they want a structure, boom. Okay, structure's fine. But they need to navigate their own experiences, their own history, their own beliefs, their own, what do they need, depending on their personality. So I go through all of that, like, okay, if you're like an engineer kind of personality, you probably just want to like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. If you're like an artistic kind of personality, then it's like, okay, what does that look like for you? And how can we integrate that? What would be the thing that you can do? So I have a motto: first, do what you can, then you do what's needed, and soon you're doing the impossible. And so it's that kind of transition. Like I had to go through a transition, and I was so set on this set of beliefs, and like, but then I wanted to, and like, what would it be like if I was in that realm? So now I'm getting in that realm. I'm in that realm of coaching individuals, even online groups. I do local things. I'm doing things in the community now, just presenting and, creating awareness, things like that. So,
so yeah. I'm going to add just a little bit more to the question then. So as a nurse coach, have you found it a little bit challenging from time to find clients?
So my challenge is the administrative part. The administrative part. Yeah. So maybe I'll go back to my question. So I have this little joke I play. It's a game I play, and and it's fascinating. I love asking questions. I ask questions all the time, and I will continue to ask the question, just trying to get at whatever is underneath that. It's always, like when you're coaching, you ask 5 whys, maybe, you keep asking why. So you were saying, okay, so you have a little bit of a challenge with the administrative part. Maybe the person or the type of person you would like to collaborate with is somebody who's got that administrative part like they breathe, right? It's just so easy. They just, administration, I got that. So if you could collaborate with anybody, would it be somebody partner with that? Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
And I love Sage Circle Alliance because we all have we get it. We get the whole purpose and the core, and I love that we have this diversity. We have all these different personalities. We have all these different ways of engaging. But yeah, if I could partner with somebody that gets it and like, and here, you can try this, you can try this. And,
right.
Okay, what are you doing? And all right, okay, let me try that. And, all that type of, you form friendships that way. And it's just fun. Then, you just have fun.
Yeah.
Well, everyone has different talents and experiences. Yeah. And when you're so focused on being a nurse in the hospital setting, as you and Meryl both were, it's, it's hard to do the marketing and the selling and reaching more people. And then with all the social media that is ever changing, as soon as you learn something, it changes and then you have to relearn it. So there's experts that we have in Sage Circle Alliance that are experts at websites and technical and marketing. So it's great to partner all together and share all those business best practices for the professional, the medical professional, such as yourself. You could benefit by that.
Yeah. We even
Yeah.
have, I was just going to say, we even have the opportunity in the Alliance that some of those professionals who've been at it for a long time and their years of collective wisdom is like crazy long, more than 100 years, some of them, that they'll do education events, right? Educational sessions for the members of the Alliance. So if you want to learn about how to manage Instagram, yeah, we got that. You want to learn about how to build your email list, there's people who know how to do that. Build, like Janet said, website building and making logos and branding, all of that stuff. There are people in the Alliance that are more than happy to assist and educate around all those things. Certainly as nurses, I'll speak for both of us. In nursing school, I didn't learn anything about how to market. There was no class about Instagram. There was nothing about social media, right? Nurses are taught to be very astute. We're great with sciences. We're great with caring. We're great with sensing what's going on in the room. That's kind of how I always work. Like, what's going on in this room? The sixth sense part is really important. We're also taught that nursing only takes money. It does not make money. We are a cost center, right? So for us to flip that idea and to come up with ideas to maintain a business, it takes something. It takes something. That's not part of our education. And in a lot of you tell me, because both Janet is a coach also, you're a nurse coach. In your coaching education and training, did they talk anything about how to actually maintain the business part? Or was it mostly about how to do the direct coaching?
Mostly the direct coaching, but I have definite access and resources on how to do the business part.
Great.
It now making it, developing your team of resources. Okay, here's Anne, the Instagram person. Here's Anne,
right.
Coming up with an infographic. Here's, doing like, okay, what do I do first? Prioritize and, do what's at hand. But also kind of planning ahead too is, all that.
Yeah, it definitely takes the team.
I want to have fun with it though. I want to like it.
So Anne, too,
I'm gonna like it one day. I know.
And as a closing few minutes here, there's other medical professionals such as yourself that are transitioning, hearing about plant-based nutrition. Maybe they find this online. What would you say to them to encourage them and invite them to be members of our Sage Circle Alliance?
Well, absolutely. Come to Sage Circle Alliance because we are aligning with each other in our goal to help people in the most compassionate and effective way in each of our own ways that we do it. And, get to know these wonderful people here. This is like really cool. That just try to do the next best thing. And it's a community, so you're not alone in doing your next best thing. You're aligning with them. I would glad to meet and greet you, and I look forward to the other people to get to know them better. I just love that, Niki Davis did an amazing job. And I'm like, oh man, I get her. See, she would be a physician that would send me patients, doctors would send me patients that are in this like transition that just takes a while to get those transitions happening. I get it. I totally get it. And I think
one person can't do the whole picture. We need a team, a group effort to collaborate and work together with the patients.
And I refer people to them.
That's right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. We gotta save this planet. And I did it for health reasons. I did it for moral reasons. It was the right thing to do. But other people have other reasons. They want to save, the resources. They want to realize that animals are suffering because of indulgences, and we can do something, and it's at the tip of your fork. You know, it's not difficult. You know, one little thing at a time. One little thing. What's it going to be? And let's help each other to do that. Move it forward.
Great.
Well, thanks so much. We're going to wrap this up. We are right at the top of the hour. Thanks so much. Ann Schrader, I will pronounce your name appropriately. I don't like it when if I don't pronounce names appropriately. My name, people hack it up all the time, so I'm kind of sensitive to that. So thank you so much. Love your passion. Love that you're part of our founding member group. I'll wrap it up by saying the Sage Circle Alliance is the future of interdisciplinary collaboration in lifestyle health and medicine. That is part of what we're here for. And when we say interdisciplinary, that's in the biggest sense of the word. It's not just doctor, nurse, respiratory therapist, and physical therapy. It's more than that. It includes marketing people and digital experts and just, I can't even tell you, the authors and the podcasters and the book writers. We are spanning the gamut of anybody who is a whole food, plant-based or healthy, vegan entrepreneur, change maker, or thought leader. That's who we're interested in connecting with. And we're here to uplift that part of the business sector. If you are a viewer and you're one of those people in any aspect of those businesses, check us out. I think here, let's see. Yeah, there's some of our social media stuff scrolling across the bottom. This is our website. You can find us there. We'd be interested in having you come check us out and join as a charter member. Our belief is the future of plant-based lifestyle is now. We don't have time to wait. The situation is urgent. It's dire. We're moving on it. It is now for health. It is now for compassion for animals, and it's now for the planet. And we invite you to be a part of it. Thank you so much, Janet and Ann. We will see you both soon, I'm sure, in the next meeting. Looking forward to it. And we're going to sign off.
Bye.
Thank you very much. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks.